Alright, so hey everyone, Kevin Hanlon back here with Magic the Final Frontier for another video on Magic the Gathering Online. So today I'm going to be playing White Weenie, or Wumans as it's called in Frontier. And we've got a hand with a 1-drop and a Reflector Mage. So the reason we call this Wumans is because we have a light blue splash for Reflector Mage. And I think I want to keep this hand just because it does have a lot of gas. We've got some reactive cards. We've got some proactive cards. So yeah, I'll keep this. And our opponent did choose to keep their opening 7. So, all right, so they open with a Needle Spires. We're playing against Ryan Schwenk. He goes by TheJapanHobbyist online. Cool, we draw an Always Watching. Normally I would fetch right away, but I kind of want to start aggressively, so we'll open with a Mardu Woe Reaper. And then next turn, if I don't... Next turn, if I don't draw another 1-drop or a 2-drop, I will go ahead and crack for a flooded, Prairie Stream. Okay, opponent plays a Hanweir Militia Captain. Okay, I'm good with that. Looks for critical mass. And then Westfield Cult Leader's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. Sure. Okay, well, we did draw a good 2-drop. That being said, I think I'll offer up the trade first. I've got plenty of ways to smooth out my hand, and Reflector Mage combos really well with Smuggler's Copter. So, alright, my opponent decides to let me have the 2 damage. So we'll go ahead and drop this Smuggler's Copter. And bear in mind, I've got this Stasis Snare locked and loaded at any point if I need to flip this Hanweir Militia Captain. Hordeling Outburst, yep. Okay, cool. So this triggers on upkeep, so might swing in for 2 here. But it won't flip until my opponent's upkeep. Okay, so we draw a land, which means we'll be able to play our Archangel of Tithes next turn, which is really good. Because my opponent's trying to go wide. I think that I will... Yeah, I'll get my Prairie Stream. And let's see. So I can play Always Watching, crew my Copter, swing for 4 in the air, and have it be Vigilant. I can play my Reflector Mage, bounce the Hanweir Militia Captain, crew with Mardu Woe Reaper, and have a fat blocker left over. Or I can... I don't think I want to use my Stasis Snare yet. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do the Reflector Mage play. I think that sounds the most tempo positive. We'll go for this guy. Okay, so that gets bounced. We'll crew with Woe Reaper. And I'll go ahead and get my loot on. Okay. Yeah. Gosh, that's really good. Kind of want to ditch the stasis snare, to be honest. Okay. Thraben Inspector, I like that card a lot. Cool. And crack the clue. Okay. So nothing too huge for my opponent this turn. Cool goblin tokens, though. And a West Vale Abbey. That could become problematic. But they're a little ways away from flipping it. Okay. So I think that what I'll do... I think this turn I definitely go for Archangel of Tithes. I guess the question is how I want to go about that. I think that I'll just start by crewing and attacking for a bunch. And then we'll see what my opponent does afterward. So we'll crew with Woe Reaper. And I'm definitely the beatdown right now. All right, let's see what we get. All right, so now I have the option of instead going for Thraben Inspector and Reflector Mage, or Thraben Inspector and Always Watching. But I think that what I will do is save that play for next turn, just because that'll be pretty awesome tempo swing, and I think I'll stick to the Archangel of Tides play on this turn. I'll discard this island. And yeah, let's see how my opponent blocks. Cool. So they're just going to chump the Reflector Mage. That's fine. And then we will go get a Plains and play this Archangel. Okay, so second Thraben Inspector for my opponent. Cracks a clue again. Okay. Well, this game's looking really good for me right now. Assuming that my opponent... Oh my gosh. Wow. So I've got options. But I think the one that I like the most is Always Watching and Thraben Inspector. So I'll play this here, Thraben Inspector. And then we'll drop an Always Watching. Wound Sen. I think I'm not going to loot this turn, but I will attack for a bunch in the air. Actually, yeah. I think I'll do it like this. No. Okay, so we got the win on the first game. I'm really liking having air power against my opponent. Just because his tokens are gumming up the ground quite a bit. Negates could be quite good. Stasis snares a little less so. And I don't want to cut too many of my value creatures. Reflector Mage is still pretty good, and Archangel of Tides is pretty awesome. Gideon's going to be kind of a liability just because my opponent's going wide, and yeah. So he'd be kind of vulnerable to attacks. Actually, Declaration in Stone looks really good, just because I can use it to get rid of a bunch of tokens. And so I'll cut an Always Watching for this, and probably a Woe Reaper. And we'll get into it. All right, let's battle. All right, so while we're waiting, I boarded in the Deccan Stone and an Ethersphere Harvester. And we boarded out and Always Watching. Okay, cool. So here we go for this game. Well, this hand is really good. Assuming that, I mean, so here's the thing with White Weenie, right? You're often going to get stuck on one land, and I've got the 1-drops to make up for that. I think I'll roll the dice on this hand. It's got a lot of really good stuff in it. Okay, so my opponent leads on a tapped land, which is really good for me. And we draw our second land, which is really cool. So I will just run it back. We'll get a Plains. And play our Mardu Woe Reaper. Okay. Interesting. I've got choices this turn. I think I'll start by attacking now. That is usually the best play. My opponent might be leaving up in a Braid for my Smuggler's Copter. But I think it's still my best play, to be honest. Okay. Raise the alarm. Maybe I should have played my land first, then I could have negated that. Yeah, I think that might have been a problem. All right, well, lesson learned. Cool. I think I still run out my Smuggler's Copter. Okay, opponent's gonna get in for a nasty, nasty 1 damage. And probably play like a Goblin or a Hordling Outburst, rather. No? Okay. Well, we drew our 3rd land. We're getting really lucky here. I'll play Kithion. He's one of the better creatures in the deck. And we'll crew Copter. Uh-huh. Show me what you got, buddy. My opponent's not too used to the interface, so he might be trying to figure out how to target this with something or put something on the stack or whatever. Okay. Think we're seeing a misplay. Oh, okay. Lightning strike? Yeah, I'm gonna get that. Alright, yeah, my Smuggler's Copter is way too valuable in this match for me to give up my flying creature. That's just not gonna happen. Yeah, we'll do this. And I'll ditch one of my Woe Reapers, because Reflector Mage is pretty awesome as a draw right now. And we'll see what happens on my opponent's next turn. Handweir Garrison. Okay. That could become a problem, but luckily we've got a Reflector Mage for it. Is my opponent going? Yes. Oh man, this next turn is going to be awesome. So I get to keep like 4 damage from happening on my next turn, which is really cool. I'll go ahead and Reflector Mage this. And then we will crew the copter. I don't really need to worry about blocking a 1/1, so I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to get in damage as fast as possible and try to burn my opponent out. Alright, so yeah, we're going to draw. I will discard Kithion because I don't need a second one. Easy choice. Knight of the White Orchid could be awesome if my opponent hits their 4th land drop, because that'll let me get really, really big plays in, and they did. So this will be great. This should be really awesome. We're looking at a possible Kithion flip. Okay, well, the dream's dead, but we're still at a serious advantage. Cool. So I think next turn what I'm looking at is nice. That just changed everything. All right, so I'll play Knight of the White Orchid. Just mono white ramp, guys. Come on. And we will grab a Prairie Stream because it is plains. And then I will play GBI. Good old young Glorybound Initiate. And I think I'll leave the knight back this turn. I'll crew with Glorybound Initiate. And I don't think I'm going to loot this turn. But I will attack for 5, assuming my opponent lets me. Okay. Well, that's cool. I'll still get in here. Okay, they block. I'm fine with them discarding their board. If we see a board wipe happen here, I'll be kind of bummed out, but I've got enough going for me to recharge with. So my opponent could animate their Needle Spires and attack me for 4. Oh, yeah, it's the Hanweir Garrison. I almost forgot about that guy. Okay. Well, we're about to see... Oh, maybe he'll remove my Glorybend Initiate? Nope, Reckless Bushwhacker. Interesting. Gonna swing him for a 10. If my opponent taps out here, I think I win the game. Okay, so I guess I'll eat a token here. Yeah. Yeah, I'll eat a token. Okay, so I have to kill my opponent on the next turn. And they still have enough here where if Ryan's last card in his hand is a land, then he can attack with Hanweir Garrison and then post combat, assuming that I don't block. Or in response to blocks, can turn. Oh, that's awesome. So let's see here. I'm gonna play the Shefet Dunes. And we'll drop this Always Watching. So my opponent can block 5 from my Glorybound Initiate, and I'd still be getting 6 in. And I guess I'll exile my own Mardu Woe Reaper to gain a life. And then, yeah. We'll definitely attack and exert Glorybound Initiate. This is like one of the more broken things you can do with Glorybound Initiate, is play it with Always Watching. I guess I missed an exert trigger. So my opponent can just trade with GBI if they want to. That was dumb. Okay. Well, at least this way they can't flip Ormondal. So that's convenient. Okay. So here's the 5th land drop. So I'm glad that, because we wouldn't have had lethal if my opponent had decided not to block. So I'm kind of glad things played out the way they did. And that's assuming something crazy doesn't happen here. Collective effort. Oh, that's cool. And put a +1/+1 counter on each of his creatures. That is cool. Okay, so once again, I'm in this situation where if my opponent, my opponent's dead on the crackback. So yeah. Yeah, I definitely win here. Because I can get 6 damage in. And they're out of cards in hand. Cool. So yeah, that was Blue White Humans. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely love this deck. It's definitely tier 1. So glad to play it against our friend in Japan, Ryan Schwenk. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You can get at me on Twitter. I'm at Skyburial. You can follow us, our channel on YouTube. It'll be Magic: The Final Frontier. And we're also available on Twitter at MTG Frontier. So yeah, hit us up. Hope to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of the deck. Let me know what decks you want to see played. Yeah, cool. Hope you guys are digging the series.